let's go to the next subject with the Los Angeles Clippers and the Portland Trail Blazers. A trade has been made. The Portland Trail Blazers have received Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, as well as Keon Johnson, a second-round pick from the LA Clippers. Forget this. Norman Powell and Robert Covington. I'm going to let you take the floor, bro. What did you think about this trade when you first heard about it, and how do you think it's going to impact both teams? Give like a brief analysis first.
Well, brief analysis-wise, man, I think the Clippers as usual, made one of the smartest moves. I mean, they definitely won this situation. I explain why. Essentially, we know that PG-13 and the Claw, Kawhi Leonard, they're hurt, they're not playing. But the Clippers have been immaculate, man. These guys have been kind of rowing the boat without their main captains, for the whole season pretty much. And yeah, they're not in the top 5 as far as the league, but anybody who knows basketball knows if the main stars were there, they would be in the top 5 of the league. That core group, that bench, the coach, the GM, all the way up to the top, man, dude, that team wants to win, and they want to win now, regardless if Kawhi Leonard and PG is even playing. You could tell by the way that organization is moving pieces that they want to win regardless if their stars are playing or not. So the reason why I said the Norman Powell and the Robert Covington move was such a good move is because this is how the Clippers are looking at it. Okay, they're not only playing for now, but they're also playing for the future, meaning that when you get Norman Powell and Robert Covington, now I don't know too many people out there who really watch the NBA like me and B Jizzle do, but if you know anything about Norman Powell and Robert Covington, and they don't have like these grandiose numbers, like superstar numbers, but it's the way they play. It's the way they play within the team system that could be very dangerous and just very irritating when you're trying to set up a defensive plan or offensive plan against a team like the Clippers. Now, what you guys have to understand, Norman Powell and Robert Covington, they're like forwards. They're tall guys. They're fast, and they're runners. They're slashers, okay? And if you've seen these guys in action playing with the Blazers, I don't think you guys understand, like, if you put those type of players in the type of system that the Clippers are running, which is already a hardcore, fast-paced, running gun type of team, you got to understand, now you have to worry about not only the guards, but you have to worry about you got to worry about the forwards, because even Zubac is starting to move along with the rest of the team. Even though he's the slowest player on the team, he's starting to catch up with the pace of the system. So when you look at that setup, it's damn near familiar with the Warriors, because the Warriors, they have a fast-paced team, right? And I think the Clippers and the GM and Ty Lue and all these guys, they're competitive people. Ty Lue likes to win. He wants to win. So I'm sure when they chose these two brothers right here, they were looking at, okay, well, how can we be successful now and compete against people like the Warriors, against the Grizzlies, against the Phoenix Suns, the top 3 teams of the league right now? Because they don't want to, because see, the Clippers, like I told you guys, regardless of their star players not being there, they still want to compete. So that's how they were thinking in that decision making. It's like, how can we still compete now and also have it a plus for when our stars do come back next year at the end of the season? How can we make it a smooth transition for them when they show back up? Because I don't think you guys understand this picture. When Kawhi Leonard and PG show back up with these 2 new additions to the team, do you guys understand that they're probably going to be the most diabolical team in the league? I mean, just looking at the core group that's playing right now, when people play the Clippers, I'm sure they don't look at the calendar and say, oh, this is an easy win. That should be a win. That should be no. They're probably sitting there like, all right, we really got a game plan against these guys. And the crazy thing is, they don't even got their main star. So imagine when you got PG shaking and baking like he do at 6'8", then you got Kawhi Leonard with his deep, and then PG too. They're the best front court defense or backcourt defensive team in the league. Those 2 at the top of the key, you ain't scoring the ball, and then they gonna score on you. So then you already got those 2, and I already compared them to Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, the way they run their system. And then you got that core group behind them, the role players that play with just as much as intensity in defense and also know their assignments. So, dude, when you add 2 people like Norman Powell and Robert Covington, and they're aggressive slashers, dude. They're aggressive. So it's like, not only do you got to worry about the Claw and PG doing their thing. Now you got to worry about these two. If you're not careful, cutting on the backside, cutting by the baseline, coming off the screen. These dudes got a nice little pull up, and they got an aggressive attack the basket mentality. And again, not only that, there's some tough, rough defensive type of players. They irritate the other team. So you put all that together, and now you're in a situation where this damn near feels like a playoff game in a regular season. So I think the Clippers, man, they it's A+. They were looking at it from all sides. Again, Ty Lue wants to win now. The organization wants to win now, but they also want to make an easy transition for, like I said, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Now, far as the Blazers go, I think they're getting ready to do a reset. I think they're getting ready to, Damian Lillard, let me start off by saying he's one of the greatest players in NBA history. I'm not going to cut the man short. I love watching him play. When he's playing, I always tune in to him, but they're not going to win a championship. Not the way they're set up, not the way that they're built. I mean, they'll give you some good playoff games, but they're not going to win a finals. I just have to say it, if they stay the same way that they are. And let's not forget that Damian Lillard and McCollum, they're taking up a lot of cap space when it comes to money. I mean, if you go look at the cap space, people, I think McCollum and Lillard are like in the $30 million range, both of them. So they're taking up a lot of space to bring in other pieces to build a championship caliber team. So actually, when you take away Norman and Robert, you got to understand, not only does that free up space, but then when they get ready to make a move with Damian Lillard or McCollum, that's going to free up more space. And now that puts the Blazers back in a reset mode to get some drafts, to get some more players, some younger legs in there, and to pretty much start from scratch. So overall, I think that it's an A+. It's definitely a green light for the Clippers. And I honestly just feel like this is just the first step into 3 or 4 more steps for the Blazers to kind of press a reset button. But what do you think?
So let me go with the Blazers first, my guy. So definitely the Blazers are looking to move. This is a money situation. This is a financial decision that they made. There was an article that I read a little bit about how they needed to get Norman Powell off the Blazers to free up cap space and open the door for Anthony Simons, who they're looking to make as their next big player. Anthony Simons, who's on the Blazers right now. So you have to get rid of Norman Powell off that team. And also it's going to open the door for CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard to leave. Now, there's been talk that CJ McCollum probably can get traded by the trade deadline, which is next Thursday. He could be expected to be gone. And then with Dame, you don't really know what he's doing with Dame. Basically, he's kind of just sitting out, kind of waiting around. But he has to be sitting back thinking, like, we can't win a championship. I can't win a championship here. I've been loyal as I can. But they can't. They're looking to try to rebuild and go a different direction. So let me get out and do what I got to do to protect myself, especially with him being 31, about to be 32 in July. So that's how I see with the Blazers. The Clippers, obviously, on a basketball standpoint, got what they want because now you got Norman Powell and Robert Covington. When I saw this trade, I didn't believe it. I was like, that's a crazy trade to even make. And I was surprised who they gave up to get him because Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, and Keon Johnson, a second-round pick, does not equate to Norman Powell and Robert Covington. So there's a such thing called luxury tax that if you don't, you can actually pay a luxury tax in basketball to get more of a deal. You all know Steve Ballmer is the richest owner in the NBA, 99 billion man, who's with Microsoft, who owns Microsoft. So he's able to put up money to actually get higher, benefits going into next season. So there is a catch to everything. He's going to probably have to get rid of a couple players next year with the Clippers. Now, who do you get rid of? That's another question for another day. But just these two additions with Norman Powell, Robert Covington make them better. Two defensive 3D guys that can both slash, can both shoot. Team guys, play hard, play their position, play their role. The Clippers, the thing about them, they got a lot of guys who are long and athletic and love to play defense and who can shoot and doesn't get out of character. That's all credit to Ty Lue. Ty Lue should be the coach of the year to me. Based off what he has done with less talent and what he's done with this team and how they're still in the playoff race, Ty Lue is my coach of the year right now. And I just think Norman Powell, Robert Covington are going to fit right in. But my last point I'm going to make about this, bro, is this to me would make, in my opinion, Kawhi and Paul George come back this season. For the reason I just mentioned earlier, they're going to probably have to get rid of a couple players next year. So you have to go for the championship right now because you might not have a couple key pieces next year because of the luxury tax that you spent to get Norman Powell and Robert Covington. People don't remember Kawhi Leonard and Norman Powell are very close. They won a championship in 2019 with Toronto. They have great chemistry. So this is obviously a move that Kawhi Leonard endorsed, just like he endorsed the move to get Serge Ibaka. So if I'm a basketball player in this situation, I see my guys playing with me. Like if I pick up you and say, Jeff, you guys come to my team, that's going to encourage me to come back and play. But that's how I think Kawhi is looking at it right now. With Paul George, there was footage yesterday with him shooting shots at practice with his left hand. So I think he's going to be coming back. He's been out for about 5-6 weeks, getting back to Christmas. I just think the Clippers full straight, man. They'll beat anybody out west. I really do. I feel like they can beat the Warriors. I feel like they can beat the Suns, the Jazz, the Grizzlies, the Mavericks, the Nuggets. It doesn't matter who it is. I think the Clippers are better than any other team in the West. But tell me the rest of your thoughts about what I just said.
Hey, man, based off of what you said, man, I really don't have much to say off of that. I mean, you kind of nailed everything. I mean, ultimately, I like how you just pretty much described how, if you really paying attention to, the luxury taxing and the moves that they're making and how they're picking certain players that Kawhi Leonard personally knows and probably has a close connection to, especially when in championships with, they're doing all of this to win now. And they're also doing this to like you said, kind of allure Kawhi Leonard and PG to come back sooner than later. Because, players pay attention to the upper levels, to the upper powers, basically. They want to know if the organization wants to win or if they're just playing games. Kind of alluding back to what you said about Dame Dollar. It's like, he has to be in his mind sometimes thinking, do they want to win? They're not bringing pieces in to allow us to win. So when you watch how the Clippers are making these strategic moves because they could pick anybody, but they're picking certain players that Kawhi Leonard actually won championships with, right? Or a championship with. And they're bringing them into the organization because, like you said, they know everything's a time limit. They know that player contracts be coming up, free agency be coming up. So it's like, we got to win now. We got to be competitive against the top 5 teams right now. So with that being said, man, I definitely agree with you. I definitely see the moves that they're making just like you do. And like I said, I think the Clippers, man, they just trying to win. So that's all I got to say on that.
All right, that's a wrap for this show today. You know what I'm saying? Follow us on our social media page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, on Spotify, Iheartradio, YouTube, as well as Instagram, @_the Pull Up _. Follow me on my Instagram. Be Jizzle. Rick, go on and give me your social media, bro. Get up out of here.
Hey, man, it's the co-host that does it the most. It's your boy, Rick Masters, @RickMasters23 or Mr. Lee on Instagram. Rick Masters everywhere else. Again, people, we got the black shirts. We got the Pull Up Basketball Podcast black shirts, the white shirts. We got the red and the white tanks, $25 a pop. Hit me and be Jizzle up in our DMs, man. And y'all stay safe out there.
Yes, sir. That's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace. Out of here like swimwear.